Hello and welcome to Podcasting Politics. It is the second episode on May 9th, 2019. Today we will be exploring once again the mind of voters, as it seems every candidate is out to get their vote. I am joined by my guest star. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Erica Field. I'm 44 years old. I'm a bartender, and I've been voting since 1992.
Nice. So, Erica, since you've been voting that long, how have you seen politics change?
Well, I think that politics kind of haven't changed, actually. I feel like we're still kind of stuck, and I thought by now they would have changed a lot more. For instance, the Electoral College is still an issue.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit when you started caring fully about politics, or if you even do care fully about politics?
I started caring the first time I got to vote, which was in 92 when I voted for Bill Clinton. That was after many years of Ronald Reagan and the first George Bush. And I was in college and everyone voted, so it was kind of cool.
Nice. Do you want to say some of the issues that you care about most this coming election?
The issues I care about most are immigration, abortion rights, LGBT issues, Supreme Court, and gun restrictions.
Okay, do you want to say maybe a possible candidate or just people in politics now who are doing things that you approve of as an American citizen?
Well, I'm really excited about Kamala Harris. I think she's got some really good ideas, and she actually seems like she's done a lot of research and can talk about things, to a great extent. I really like AOC. I like her ideas, and I like the way that she's able to use social media to her advantage and really get her ideas out there. I think she's doing the new Green Deal.
Yeah, she helped write it.
Yeah, so that's really exciting because obviously we need to be thinking about global warming as well.
Okay, and maybe some people who aren't doing so great?
Well, the president isn't looking really awesome right now. And all of the Republicans that were on the Kavanaugh committee were really disappointing, like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell. I was really disappointed that they pushed that through without doing research and really looking into things and not really giving people credit for standing up and testifying in front of the committee and saying things that were hard.
Do you think that there's some unfair bias?
I think it's all biased, which is really sad. And they have, people that are giving them money to vote a certain way or to help them get reelected. And it seems like they're not very open-minded. They just want to push forward their agendas.
So coming around to a different topic, age, do you think that a younger or an older president would be better? Or do you think that it doesn't matter and just what their ideas are matter?
I definitely think the younger candidates have more of a handle on what's actually going on in the world right now, instead of people that still have still are trying to get NRA and oil and all these old companies put their interests first, where there's things that are more important right now.
Okay. You said you like Kamala Harris. What about Bernie Sanders? Tell me what you know about him.
Well, I think last time Bernie Sanders ran, he got a lot of people excited, but he really was not supportive of Hillary when she became the nominee, and it really just drove a wedge in the Democratic Party. I'm surprised he's running again. I think that we need someone younger for one, and I don't think he's really uniting people.
Yeah, because there's this big divide between him and how people think that he's going to make America very based around socialism. And yeah, he's pretty dividing on that.
Right. People kind of turn against the Democratic Party. And then they go, well, what? We might as well vote for Trump. I don't know. I don't get it. But
so do you think that for Democrats, do you think that they should be focusing on only beating Trump, or do you think that they should be focusing on nominating a candidate that will not only have a good chance of beating Trump or whoever the Republican nominee is, and can push the ideals that like gun control and climate change and immigration?
Well, I think that if they really get people on board and make a solid foundation for what their ideas are and not waver, not like hedge on things. And they're like, these are all the things I want to do, but we have to work together as a party and hopefully keep control of the Senate. And I think they have control of the Senate.
No, not the Senate.
So the House, and hopefully get control of the Senate. Then they can start to really move forward those ideas. And yeah, they absolutely have to nominate someone that can take Trump down and talk straightforward about him without, trying to be too nice, I guess, because people are making a lot of excuses for him and then saying he, hasn't been completely truthful instead of just saying, well, he's flat out lying. Like they need to just...
He has flat out lied.
They need to just say it like it is and not,
sugarcoat it.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe Biden is the Democratic front runner, and then behind him is Bernie Sanders, and then pretty much tied is Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg, and then Beto O'Rourke and Elizabeth Warren are kind of floating down there. How do you, so between those ranks, do you support the people who are more at the bottom or the top?
Well, I definitely support the people that are kind of in the middle there. I think Biden and Sanders are getting a lot of press, and the media is talking about them in a way that keeps them in the headlines. I don't know how Biden is still a front runner when he's got scandals that are starting to come out. It seems like when I hear people talk about Bernie Sanders and Biden, they talk about their personalities in a way that they won't do the same thing for women. Women are called, too harsh or shrill, or they don't talk about their ideas as much as like how their voice sounded that day. You know what I mean? So I don't think the media is giving some of the women, and maybe Pete too, enough press. Although I hear about Pete on social media.
Yeah, he's been getting lots and lots of press and
yeah,
interviews and everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd be more interested to hear about Pete. I'm a little concerned about his religious leanings, but that's fine. A lot of people are religious. So
yeah, he just went to California to try to sway some Kamala supporters over him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I still am really surprised to hear that Biden and Sanders are in the top two.
So what about Beto O'Rourke, who he's got very strong ideas about guns. Like a lot of candidates, but he has said very clearly that he has friends who own like assault weapons and automatic weapons and all of that, but he still wants to ban them, and he has a whole plan for climate change where he wants to be completely net zero emissions by 2050 and like put like $5 trillion into it. But he's he doesn't support the Green New Deal because he thinks that it's too short of a time, 10 years.
Well, I think he's very charismatic and people will listen to what he's talking about. But I was surprised he's running after just losing.
Yeah.
So I like his ideas about gun control. I think that's a must, considering every time there's a school shooting, we barely pay attention to it anymore. There's just a new one in a couple of days. So we definitely need to do something there. It's good that he's thinking about climate. I'm surprised he's not on board with the Green New Deal.
Another candidate who's extremely long shot, Andrew Yang. Have you heard about him at all?
No, I haven't.
No. So he's Asian American. His parents immigrated from Taiwan, and he has a very human-centered policies. If you look at his website, he's written everything about everything you could ask a question about. He seems very well informed, but his big idea is UBI, which stands for Universal Basic Income, and he wants to give everyone 18 plus, no matter how wealthy or poor they are, $1,000 per month to spend as they will.
I think that will just scare people off. I think people will think that that's like communism. So I'd like to hear more about him. I've never heard of him before, but I do think that's too much of a change for people to wrap their minds around.
Yes, yeah. But he says that he wants to do economy first and then climate.
Okay. That's interesting. But still, what, $1,000 a month for people that are making minimum wage on top of that? I don't know. It's still going to be hard to live in certain parts of the country.
Yeah. Okay, and then going back to Trump being reelected, a lot of people are saying that the economy is still growing under Trump and Americans are spending more money this quarter and employment is still going down. Do you think that's good enough that Trump will be reelected? Do you think that he could be?
I think he could be reelected. I thought he could be elected the first time because people were so jaded about Obama, which I didn't really understand. Even some Democrats were like, oh, not liking everything Obama did. But I definitely think he could be reelected. And it's pretty scary to think he could be reelected. There's got to be an uprising of youth that are going to be able to vote this time that couldn't vote last time. And if people really get out there and vote and not just, the Midwest and the retired people, then I think there could be a big change.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it's possible that these swing states that have that could be a real something that could happen to the youth there? Do you think that those swing states that Trump won could go back to blue?
That would be amazing. I would love to see that happen, especially like Florida would be huge. And what is it? Ohio is a big one.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania. Yeah, there's got to be plenty of people out there that just didn't think it was possible last time.
So they didn't vote.
Or they didn't vote because they weren't sure about Hillary. But I mean, we just can't let this happen again.
So then if Trump did get reelected, do you think that he would be impeached then?
I think if they haven't started the process by now, they probably aren't going to.
And they'll just let him.
They'll let him either decide to resign at some point. I see that being more of an option than him actually being impeached, which is kind of crazy considering people have resigned over far less.
Yeah, I mean, no president's been impeached.
Right.
So, I mean, a president resigned before he could be impeached. So, all right. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. All right, and that has been all for Podcasting Politics.